Hello everyone and welcome back to Becoming Dentist. Today we shall be covering the topic that is the tooth numbering system. So starting, what is the tooth numbering system? Now the tooth numbering system is a series or a sequence of alphabets or numbers which are used to uniquely identify a tooth. Now if we want to identify a tooth using this system, we can either give it a specific alphabet or a specific number to identify it. Now why do we need this numbering system? That is, firstly, for the efficiency, to efficiently identify a tooth, then for clear communication whenever a dentist is undergoing a surgery or a tooth procedure, to clearly communicate it with the patient or their fellow colleagues that which tooth they are operating on. The tooth numbering systems are required, and for accurate record keeping, suppose on which tooth you have had a particular surgery or treatment done, to keep an accurate record of that, we use the tooth numbering system. Now before we start or go into detail of this topic, here are the few things you must keep in mind. First of all, whenever we write the tooth numbering system, we have to draw two lines. First, a vertical line which will be the representative of the median line of the face, and then we will draw a horizontal line which will divide the two arches, that is the maxillary arch and the mandibular arch. This is the maxillary arch and this is the mandibular arch. Now, as to the side determination, always remember that the side determination is according to the patient. Just imagine you are standing here and you are looking at the patient. So the side determination of the tooth will be based on the position of the patient, which means that your right hand side will become the left hand side of the patient. So this is your right hand side, but for the patient it will be the left hand side, and similarly your left hand side will become the patient's right hand side. The next thing you must keep in mind is that whenever we are writing about the primary or the deciduous teeth, we will always use alphabets except for the FDI system. And whenever we are talking about the permanent or the succedaneous tooth, we will be writing numbers. So moving on, we have the first system of notation or the first tooth numbering system, that is the universal system. The name itself suggests that this system is universally accepted as the tooth numbering system. So how is this system? So seeing as the permanent teeth over here, as it is permanent teeth, we will be using numbers. So we have drawn two lines, the median line and the line of the arch, and we have written the two quadrants. This is the left quadrant and this is the right quadrant. So whenever we are giving numbers in the universal system, we will use all the numbers from 1 to 32. Now how will we give this number? So the first number, that is number 1, is always given to the maxillary right third molar. This is the maxillary arch, this is the right side, and this is the last molar or the third molar. So this will be given number 1. Then the second molar will be given number 2, the first molar number 3, the second premolar number 4, the first premolar will be given 5, canine 6, lateral incisor 7, central incisor 8, and so on. So the first we will write as the maxillary right third molar, then we will move into the maxillary left quadrant from here 9, 10 up till the left maxillary third molar. Then we will move downwards onto the left mandibular quadrant, where we will again name the left mandibular third molar. We will move like this, and we will move on to the right mandibular quadrant, where we will give the number 25 to the central incisor, moving on, and the last number 32 will be given to the right mandibular third molar. So we will be following this sequence over here. So this is how the numbering is done. Always remember, start the numbering from the right maxillary third molar. Similarly, for deciduous teeth, we have the alphabets. We will be using alphabets. So the first alphabet, that is A, will be given to the deciduous second molar, as there is no third molar in the deciduous teeth. So the letter A will be given to the right deciduous second molar. So A, first molar will be B. There are no premolars in the deciduous tooth, so with canine will be given C, the lateral incisor D, and the central incisor as E. So then we'll move on to the maxillary left quadrant, then we will be into the mandibular left quadrant, and then into the mandibular right quadrant, ending with the letter T. So let me give you an example to make this simpler. So if anybody tells you what is the universal number or the universal notation system for the right maxillary canine, the permanent right maxillary canine, so we will focus over here. It is given permanent, so it will be a number. Then it is given maxillary, so which quadrant we will look at? Either this quadrant or this quadrant, as these are the maxillary quadrants. Now it is said maxillary right, so we will not look over here as this is the left quadrant, so we will focus over here. And then we are asked the canine, the right canine. So this is the third molar, this will be the second molar, this will be the first molar, this will be the second premolar, third premolar, and this is the canine. So whenever we are asked what is the number of the permanent maxillary right canine, so we will tell that according to the universal notation system, its number is 6. The next system which we have is a Zsigmondy-Palmer system. Zsigmondy-Palmer system. Now in this system also, for primary dentition we have the alphabets, and for the permanent dentition we have the numbers. Starting with the permanent dentition, here each tooth is given a specific number. Suppose the central incisor is given the number 1, the lateral is given number 2, canine is given 3, the first premolar is given 4, the second premolar is given 5, the first molar is given 6, the second molar is given 7, and the third molar is given the number 8. So here the central incisor is 1, lateral is 2, then canine is 3, first premolar is 4, second is 5, the first molar is 6, second molar is 7, and the third molar is 8. So this number are given irrespective of the arch or the quadrant of the tooth. So all the tooth of the maxillary arch and the mandibular arch will have the same number for each individual tooth. So now you must wonder, if all of these have the same number, how will we identify if it is the right tooth or the left tooth, if it is a tooth of the maxillary arch or the mandibular arch? Now to signify this, we will use this symbol of the quadrant. So if we are referring to the right quadrant of the maxillary arch, so we will use this symbol over here. This arch symbol will be used. So the right maxillary arch will have this symbol. The left maxillary, this is the left side of the maxillary arch, we will use this symbol. Then for the left mandibular arch, we will use this symbol. And for the right mandibular arch, we will be using this symbol. So here is an example. If we are referring to the central incisors, so if this is the symbol and this is one of the central incisor, this will be the maxillary right. As you can see, maxillary right, central incisor. This will be the maxillary left central incisor. So this similarly will be mandibular left central incisor, and this will be the mandibular right central incisor. To make the symbols easy, remember that we write this as the L, and L is for left. So whenever you are writing left for maxillary, it will be this symbol. So for mandibular, it will automatically be the mirror image. Similarly for right, we have opposite L, and this will be its mirror image. The similar concept is for primary dentition, except we have alphabets. So central incisor is A, lateral incisor is B, canine is C, the first molar is D, and the second molar is E. Similarly, we will be also using the quadrant symbols. Now moving on, we have the FDI system. Now in FDI system, the FDI stands for Federation Dental International. So the FDI gave a 2-digit system. Now as you can see, these are the 2-digit system. So 2 digits will be used to specify a particular tooth. So here both the systems, both the dentitions will have numbers. So here for permanent dentition, first we will give each quadrant a specific number. So maxillary right quadrant we will give number 1. The maxillary left quadrant we will give number 2. The mandibular left we will give 3. And the mandibular right we will give number 4 for permanent dentition. Remember that number 1, 2, 3 and 4 are used for permanent dentition. So we will give the number in such way like this, just as we had for universal system. This is the sequence which we will be following. So after we have given the number to each of the quadrant, this is the first digit of the first digit will be of the quadrant and the second digit will be of the specific number of tooth. Just as we did in the Zsigmondy-Palmer system, we had given each tooth a specific number. So here we will give each quadrant its specific number which will make up the first digit, and the second digit will be the tooth number. So central incisor has 1, lateral 2, canine 3, first premolar 4, second premolar 5, first molar 6, second molar 7 and the third molar 8. So whenever we write about the permanent dentition, the first digit we will be using will be of the arch and the second will be of the tooth number. So let us take for example the number 16. So whenever you see this digit 1 here, what will it signify? It will signify the arch. So this will be, as 1 is used, first of all it will be a permanent tooth, correct? So it is a permanent tooth. Apart from being permanent tooth, it is also of the maxillary right arch. Okay, so we got the first 3 names correct. It is a permanent maxillary right. Now what is number 6? Here number 6 will represent the first molar. So the entire tooth name will be permanent maxillary right first molar. Similarly, let us take another example. This is number 3, 4. So 3 is also a number which is used for the permanent system. So the tooth will be a permanent tooth. Then the number 3 is used for the mandibular left. So it will be mandibular left, and number 4 means it is the first premolar. So number 3, 4 will indicate permanent mandibular left first premolar. Is it clear? So remember the quadrant number 1, 2, 3 and 4. The right side, left side maxillary, left side, right side mandibular. For primary dentition we have the same system, just we will be using number 5, 6, 7 and 8. Number 5 for the maxillary right arch, 6 for the maxillary left arch, 7 for the mandibular left arch and 8 for the mandibular right arch. Similarly, we have all the teeth, 1 for the central incisor, 2 for the lateral incisor, 3 for the canine, 4 for the first molar and 5 for the second molar. So let us take an example. Let us take 8, 4. Now first of all, what do you think when you see the number 8, 4? So 8 means it will be a deciduous tooth, and so 8. So the tooth will be a deciduous. Then it is of the mandibular arch and it is the right side. So permanent mandibular right, and number 4 will indicate the tooth number, that is the first molar. So the tooth number 8, 4 will be the deciduous mandibular left first molar. And also remember, never speak these numbers as 11 or as 51. Always remember to speak it as 1, because then you will confuse it with the universal system. So in universal system also we have the number 11 over here. See, This is the number 11, which is maxillary left, permanent maxillary left canine. And over here the number 1 here 1 will represent to the permanent maxillary right central incisor. So always remember, speak it as 1 1 1 2 4 1 4 2 4 3 7 1 7 2, but never as 11 12 13. So that is it for today's video. If you do like the video, do like, share, subscribe and keep on learning. Hello everyone and welcome back.